Narcostan aims to address an international subject hardly anyone wants to talk about: Afghanistan's exploding heroin epidemic. I'm trying to relate the experience of people who'd otherwise just disappear, people at the bottom rung of a ruined country. I think it's important. I think it has something to offer us, a reminder or a warning. I took this picture in late September of 2001. In the Panjshir Valley, new recruits train for the Kabul police force. This is Bamiyan in September 2005. The world's two largest standing Buddhas were carved into the rock face here in the 3rd century AD. By March 2001, the Taliban completely destroyed them using mortars, rocket-propelled grenades and tank rounds. It's October 2005 and a frightened boy peers up at Afghan soldiers as they search a village in Kandahar for Taliban insurgents. Reza and Hussein, March 2006. Both brothers, both addicted to heroin. I spent many weeks following their tragic story in the seedy underbelly of Kabul's old city. They became my window into documenting the drug epidemic inside Afghanistan today. Reza cries out in pain as his brother Hussein tries to find a vein in which to shoot up heroin. These photos were taken inside a bombed-out building where the brothers took their drugs and often slept. While travelling with Afghan Special Forces in Kandahar in October 2005, I took this picture of a soldier coming out of a house in Gombaz village after searching it for hidden weapons or hiding Taliban suspects. It was my last day in Afghanistan in April 2006. I spent 3 hours shooting a project of anonymous people on the streets of Kabul with my medium format Polaroid camera. My aim was to capture Afghan society at a particular place and moment in time. I took this photograph while embedded with the US Marines in Kunar province, August 2005. The soldiers are on an enemy weapons search in the narrow streets of Asadabad. While on a mission with the 173rd Airborne in Kandahar, October 2005, for claimed hygiene reasons, soldiers burned the bodies of 2 dead Taliban combatants following a battle outside the village of Gombaz. I spent some time shooting the US military hospital at Bagram Air Base in September 2005. A critically burnt baby was receiving special care from the medical team. It was one of the most haunting and sad moments I've ever experienced. Not even the love and dedication given her from doctors and nurses relieved the obvious pain and suffering.
During winter in Iowa, one can drive along endless gravel roads that divide wind-blown fields of black earth as dark as tar. Snow drifts along fence rows, leaving the landscape a harsh contrast of black and white, but the feeling of openness that so defines the Midwest rural landscape is being replaced by one of emptiness. Those who are willing to stay behind, who work to maintain the rural lifestyle, sometimes seem entombed in obscurity, forgotten by an economy that is too fast and fickle for lengthy growing seasons. As many rural communities across America continue to fail, abandonment is becoming commonplace. These photographs document the human effect of this economic shift. I grew up in LeClaire, Iowa. It's a small town that sits along the Mississippi River. I grew up hunting and fishing on the river. The farm crisis of the mid-1980s was a difficult time for my family economically. My father was a small business owner, and we struggled. But that time was devastating for many family farmers and those who worked in farm equipment manufacturing in our community. I started this project while a graduate student at the University of Iowa. I'd been on assignment in northwest Iowa covering the harvest, and I met a farmer who explained to me when he first started farming, he was the youngest to farm in his county. The day we spoke, nearly 3 decades later, he was the second youngest farmer in his county. Outmigration is devastating rural communities across Iowa. Iowa ranks second nationally for states losing young, well-educated single adults to outmigration. While growing up in LeClaire, I too wrestled with the desire to escape the confines of my small town. I think that emotion plays out in the photographs. I think there's a sense of tension in many of the images that reveals that desire. I'm drawn to the strength of Iowans, to the strength of people who work in slaughterhouses and those who spend endless hours bent over while harvesting vegetables. These people are my motivation for this project. They're the voiceless that quietly endure our nation's economic injustice. Whether it be religious communities, recent immigrants, or those that are simply left in the wake of outmigration, these are the individuals, the people who are maintaining rural life.